Hey, welcome everybody. This is John Paul Mendoza, Speed Selling. This is Raging Verbalist number 325. I'm on the road. If you can't tell, kind of getting a little chilly out there where I'm at. So just thought I would just throw this one in. So today's topic, oh, by the way, this is the first time you're here. Welcome. If you're back, great. Glad to see you. Keep track. So this is number, as I said, 325. And we got a lot of cool things going on. So every week, you can find me on YouTube and Facebook group, which is Position to Win Book, Position to Win Book, Position to Win Book, which is my book. Clever, huh? Anyway, don't really dive too much into politics, but about stuff that just kind of gets me. And today is no different. So let's dive in. First and foremost is that instant karma's a bitch. Now, people have been talking about instant. See, everybody wants things right now. We want to have higher bandwidth. We want to have things happen quickly. We don't want to wait at all. But what's the other side of that coin? What happens with that? Well, we're 42 days into a war with Iran. I don't know if you like it or hate it. I don't care what you think about it. The world doesn't really care what you think about it. I mean, I know you can go out there and protest and hold your breath and do all kinds of other things, but let's get real. 42 days is like nothing. Not saying it's not bad shit going on. I'm just saying just get your head wrapped around this. But that is the point of today. What the point of today is that there's instant karma. And instant karma, when you see it in the price of this commodity called oil, which we use 90 plus million barrels a day, 20% of which go through the Strait of Hormuz, which when somebody says, well, why didn't somebody think about that ahead of time? If you want to know about any of that, go read some history books. Now, oil prices went up to a peak of like 117 bucks on the futures and commodities market. And for those of you who don't understand how this world really works because you're just not aware, what happens is that commodity prices fluctuate. Now, it used to take a lot of time. It used to be a slow, arduous process. Things would take place somewhere in the world and it would ripple over and eventually we would see it and then you would go, oh crap, what's going on? How did this happen? How did that happen? Boo hoo 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 hoo. But now that isn't the case because instant karma is a bitch. And it's a bitch because information is readily available without a doubt. In fact, you can go watch the little dots on a screen, which are tankers and other vessels trying to make it through the Strait of Hormuz. You can also do that to look at every airplane that's in the air. By the way, that's a pretty cool thing, but off the top of what we're talking about today. So that means that prices fluctuate a lot. So it hit a high of $117 a share in some markets, and now it's crashed back down to earth. Now, that means that prices are going to change pretty dramatically. I don't know what the outcome is going to be of this. All I can tell you is that you should be well aware that we live in a time where this is the way the world is going to work and operate. Doesn't mean that it's good or bad, it just is. Get accurate thinking, thinking smart, and going, well, what can I do and what does this mean? Also, the question is that since things are happening faster than ever, and we are going to be living in this kind of world, that calls into question when prices are low on certain things, you should buy them. Now, and you should buy them and stockpile some things. And I'm not talking about being a survivalist, but I'm being a realist, which is being aware of what's going on. This is a perfect example. So many people are shocked at gas prices change so dramatically. Well, I've talked about that. I made a prediction long ago that prices would hit $100 before it went way down. Didn't quite make that. I was wrong about that, but this war has pushed that high. And the reason for it is that anytime there's a disruption in supply and demand, and that is the real message of today. See, it used to take days, weeks, months for things to work their way through the system. And now it takes, well, I don't want to say seconds, but it's at least hours and maybe days for something to happen. We see this with the AI explosion. The price of computer RAM has gone through the roof. Just realize that, some of that RAM I've probably got in a drawer somewhere, might be worth some money. But I'm just pointing out that instant karma is a bitch. We want things done as fast as we possibly can. But the flip side, the other side is that means that prices will fluctuate and go faster than ever before. And because of that, you need to be aware of that. And that means whatever you're doing in a business environment, You need to not sit there and loaf along and say, well, this doesn't really affect me. It does. In fact, I'm repricing things to some of my best customers in some of my businesses because we got to take into account that it's going to cost us more to do anything. Have you tried to ship anything lately? Oh, wow. It costs serious money. I mean, what are you talking about? Had somebody quote us on in one of the business I'm involved in $1,000 to ship us raw material that we need. $1,000. Ugh. So we have to decide when we're going to buy it and how we're going to ship it and what we're going to do. I mean, one of the options literally is to go drive 8 hours, pick the stuff up, and then drive 8 hours to deliver it back somewhere else. You may say that's kind of crazy, but you work the numbers and you figure it out. So instant karma is a bitch because we are living in a time when everything happens quicker than ever before. Speaking of that, most businesses fail in the first 5 minutes. Shameless plug. This takes 3 to 5 years to realize it. Maybe it doesn't take 3 to 5 years to realize it anymore. Position to Win. This is my book. Pick it up. You can get it digitally at Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Apple iBooks. You can also get it from Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Books a Million, other places. You can go get it physically, or you can go to positiontowinbook.com, 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 and I will autograph it for you if that is what you want. Let's wrap up by saying my point of what we're talking about today is as I traveled across the US and I was driving, I noticed that prices fluctuated dramatically. People have different views of what was going on. And we once again are seeing the ramifications that technology is no longer going to let us sleep in slumber and wonder, well, yeah, it's not going to affect me. It affects us all because we are getting closer and closer to being tied in a global economy where, in fact, instant karma is a bitch. With that, I'm John Paul Mendoza, Dr. Speed Selling. This has been Raging Verbalist 325. Until next week, make sure that you think, act, and put yourself in the best possible position that you possibly can. And if you do that, you'll be more successful than the majority, the 80% of this planet. And with that, we're out.